I've been thinking about WINX Club a lot recently. With the upcoming reboot next year, only one teaser revealed, some animation leaks, and so much concept art floating around, it's got me so curious to see what Rainbow have in store for the series.
I know now. So, it's been a while since my last WINX video, to the point I'm actually not vibing with my redesigns too much now. But I thought it's been long enough, so why don't we get to part 2? And WINX Club is finally back, with their new reboot dropping early in the UK for some reason. And boy, it sure does look... you know... it looks. I think what doesn't really help is all the alleged use of AI and allegedly AI written teasers from all this alleged evidence. That enough alleged warnings, Velma? Thanks, girl. She's a great neighbor and a great lawyer. But really, what happened? We went from a series built from artists with passion, outfits styled by real fashion designers, and giving girls their own action fantasy series, when many people would just refuse that idea if it wasn't targeted towards boys. But now we have a show that's seemingly rushed out and done with the lowest budget possible, allegedly AI-generated material and key concept and promotional material, and a story that really loves to push men into the narrative while taking time away from the girls, to the point of even taking away the main character's spotlight just to share it with another guy? But you know who wouldn't allow for AI to create their characters and stories? Unveil, the sponsor of today's video. If you're like me, you tend to create and draw a lot of character designs, but never really get to share all the lore and information in your head with others. Like, what's their favorite music genre? Do they go to school? Where were they on the evening of February 26 when Tom Nook was shot? But that's where Unveil comes in. Unveil is a creative platform made by a small, diverse team of, well, creatives, to put other creatives like you and me first. From character creators, artists, writers, and storytellers, all are welcome to join and share their work in a 100% AI-free community. Thanks to character pages, you can put together a vast gallery showing off your OC through the eras, expand on their lore so everyone can know their full story, and my favorite part, the traits page, where you can get down to the nitty-gritty and reveal all sorts of random information about them, from age, strengths, to favorite ice cream flavors, or even just write your own ones. Don't be mistaken, it's not just a place for artists, as writing is just as important. As with worlds, you can better organize your characters and their stories by grouping them all together in one place, even if it's just one OC that you love to throw into every universe possible. And now, it's possible to even collaborate on worlds, so you and many others can create art, write, or roleplay in special user-created worlds. And if you're having trouble thinking what to write for an OC, you can always use the question of the day feature to answer daily prompts to get a head start. Did I mention over 200k creatives have already joined and are ready to connect, follow, and like your creations? Which means no matter who you are, any character uploaded to Unveil will get comments and favorites from someone in the community. Just like how with the Explore tab, you too can discover people's newly added characters, worlds, writing, or just their art and support them as well. If you're at all interested in Unveil, as you should be, go follow my link in the description below and start sharing your OCs. I want to see you all creating and putting yourself out there more. And with that, I guess we can go back to the drop-off of WINX. Yay. Look, I hate the cycle of media discourse that seems to be new thing bad, old thing good, remember good old days? Hey, remember? Do you remember? Nostalgia bait. Because sometimes people will let nostalgia blind them too much and never accept anything new, even if it's actually interesting and explores a whole new side to the story and characters, or in some cases, just better. So I'm just gonna run past this topic as fast as possible, okay? Yes, new WINX sucks. Yes, it could have been more. Yes, it's not worth hate watching. And yes, you should keep creating based on the WINX you liked and inspired you. Don't let a poor adaptation of your favorite series with alleged AI hold you down. Just let the WINX keep on flying and spreading your magic. Alright, with that kind of cringy metaphor out the way, I will be bringing up parts of the reboot, mainly with character design while I'm drawing, since it's kind of inevitable for me to compare what I'm doing to the latest thing, especially because some of these are a little criminal. But this video isn't really about the reboot and a deep dive into it. The reboot isn't even the reason why this video took so long for me to make. The real reason it took me so long to get to part 2 is because I struggled to watch season 4. I didn't like it. Alright, get ready for yapping time. See, I rewatched up to seasons 1 to 3 for my original video, because that's the one I remember seeing as a kid. But I thought, before I do my part 2, maybe I should watch season 4 and finish up the essential WINX viewing experience, since everyone seems to speak so highly of it. I also watched the movies, but you will not be hearing too much on that, because despite being obviously flawed, I really love them and think they still hold up. But something about season 4 just wasn't clicking for me. Now, I need to make an amendment here from my old video, because I mistakenly claimed Nickelodeon was partially involved with the production of Season 4, which is untrue. They were involved with this series and its special/movies Season 5 onwards. Season 4 was all rainbow, but you could have fooled me with the way the season was written. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater, you guys know this, I like being positive and seeing the best side of things, because negativity isn't going to get us anywhere. And I really, really wanted to like this season. But it was just so childish and annoying. Wow, the TV show for children is childish. Who would have thought, Alpine? But somehow, in the season where the girls are meant to be adulting and doing mature things, they act more childish and less mature than when they were teenagers in school. Like, everyone loves to complain about Roxy, but there are other characters that are way more annoying than the forgotten 15-year-old. Bloom and Sky's rocky, confusing relationship was just a hot mess to watch. Stella was sort of just acting like a child the whole time. Like, I get she's meant to be comedic relief, but it just read more immature and bratty than usual, and Riven's entire existence. That's it. Still a Riven hater, season 4 did not help his cause. Pettiness aside, I can't deny how much the intro and outro eats though. Like, this is a next level slay for the girls, and I have been listening to the outro on repeat since. Anyways, I finished the season now, I'm caught up on the core WINX lore and story, and now I can focus on this video, which is going to be about redesigning the WINX villains. Because I like a lot of them, and I think they all serve in their own unique ways, but I thought it could be fun to update some of their wardrobes. But before we begin, let me just clear up a few things. Firstly, I'm only focusing on villains from season 1 to 4, so anyone beyond that, no clue who they are, you're just saying names to me. Secondly, I won't be counting minor rivals/antagonists like Cassandra or Chimera, because they didn't really make too much of an impact or even stick around long enough in their own seasons. And thirdly, I won't be including any of the guys, because I kind of think they're already perfect. Hey Avalon.
Hey there, you hey there, how are you doing? Tell me what's up.
Additionally, I won't be including the Earth Fairies, because other than being rivals who have their opinions swayed, all these designs eat, you can't top peak. But with that all clarified, let's start this video and get to redesigning some villains, shall we? Kicking us off, we have Mitzi, our main girl Bloom's Earth rival, and someone who also debuted in episode 1. I think the thing that's really funny about Mitzi is that in comparison to every other villain or rival, she's so normal. She's just a spoiled rich girl neighbor who didn't like Bloom, and whose bullying tactics involved flexing her wealth or amount of quote-unquote friends she had. Like, her being grouped together with the likes of the Tricks, who are infamous international magic terrorists, or Diaspro, who's fought Bloom and tried to kill her like twice. All I'm saying is there's an extreme jump in threat levels between her and the others to the point it doesn't really feel right to call her a villain, so we'll just stick with rival. Now, while I'm not talking about the reboot, I must address the elephant in the room. They messed my girl up in the reboot. Like, her design in all the test animations was so cute. I love the use of more black and pinks
Black pink in your area.
in her palette to complement the greens more, as well as these heart embellishments. Or what I thought were heart embellishments, but as they turn out, they're just studs. I guess I just pictured they'd be hearts, but imagine if they were, they looked really cute. But in the final result, after all the budget was clearly repurposed or sapped elsewhere, she looks so dehydrated.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
Like, she's not the worst example in the reboot. We'll get there. But I will mourn the loss of so much potential and what felt like a plan to have her appear more as an antagonist in Bloom's life. But instead, she's just this sort of nothing bully who we as an audience don't even get to know. Anyways, let's focus back on my design and what I'm doing for her. Now, OG Mitzi was kind of that it girl. Like, she knew she was eating in that strappy top, flared capris, and the strappy sandals with her big tote bag. So I have some big shoes to fill with this redesign. But as always, when making her new outfit, I tried to blend a more casual modern style with elements of Y2K. But most importantly, I really wanted her and Bloom to be similar and complementary when paired together, yet also contrasting one another. You know, saying that line out loud makes you kind of realize that sort of makes no sense, because how can they be the same, but also how are they meant to be similar and complementary but also opposing and contrasting. Those are two different things at Alpine. So, considering Bloom was sporting more of an arts and crafts preppy look, the most obvious choice for Mitzi was an office siren look, sporting more iconic sharp glasses, vital to pull the look together. A cropped and open shirt rolled up at the sleeves, cropped jumper, trousers with a chic belt, a simple purse sporting her totally legit WINX looking Labubu.
I have the one and only 24 karat gold Labubu.
Finished off with some tall heels because this diva is all about fashion. Her hair is still pinned straight, but I thought to give it a little side pull bun, just to add to the business chic vibe and give it a little something more. Swinging back to that point about wanting them to be similar and complementary, and 10 points to you if you're a real Alpine head and watch part 1 to pick up on this. But despite listing off all of Mitzi's outfit pieces, her and Bloom have incredibly close matching silhouettes and fashion choices. This was a little extra something I intended. While Bloom's outfit is something she made herself from hand-me-downs and thrifting pieces, making an outfit that's fashionable and cute while also representing her free spirit. But Mitzi hates to admit Bloom did something right and is actually fashionable, especially through such lower class means. So instead, she spent her money on buying the big name fashion statement pieces. Her shirt, Chanel. Her jumper, Louis Vuitton. Her trousers, Gucci. And it's all real. Don't even try bringing up Shein or Pretty Little Thing because she's definitely never heard of that in her life and doesn't even know what that is. Or don't look at her laptop. Don't look at it, guys. Don't look at her history. Colors wise, I did what I usually do. Stick to the original palette. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Although, in this case, I guess I did tone down the yellow and orange, keeping the yellow in her shirt and the orange as her purse, and the small flower pattern on the jumper. Not that I hate the yellow and orange, but I just thought too much yellow might wash out her skin tone a bit, and I just thought the orange was a bit too strong and bold for the more minimalist and neutral tone look I had imagined. Although, considering I still kept the green, it's not really neutral toned anymore, is it? And here's Mitzi all finished up, and I think she was a great character to start with. She totally reads as an older mean girl who keeps up to date with fast fashion trends like there's no tomorrow. But also she's the kind to be rocking her look, so can you really be mad? Gardenia should be lucky she's even bothering to spend her money in these dingy, unfashionable shops. I think what I liked most whilst drawing Mitzi was that it also gave me an opportunity to see how much I've grown. It's been a while since part 1, so just comparing Bloom and Mitzi side by side, and seeing all the extra detailing and how much better I am with hands and feet makes it all worth it. But enough of that. We're here for a WINX video, and what's an Alpine WINX video if not for some transformations? Keeping up with the format of my last video, of course I had to give Mitzi a transformation and a spruced up fairy form, and her take was definitely an experiment for me. Like the others I did before, I'm still trying to carry that reimagined aspect to fairies, being more traditional and nature themed, like the Tinkerbell movies, something I started to regret while making this video because it sure is getting harder and harder to make some more unique floral fairy forms. But then again, this is a grave I dug for myself. For her form, I was heavily inspired by the season 4 episode where the Wizards of the Black Circle turn her and her friends into dark fairies to try and smear the reputation of fairies on Earth and weaken the WINX's powers. So I reimagined her 2 pigtails as more straight and blunt, almost countering Stella's round and flowy pigtails. A ripped up petal undershirt giving an off the shoulder vibe, a spiky leaf corset, a long petal to resemble a pleated skirt, with some extra ones on top to give that sort of asymmetrical vibe, kinda similar to Bloom's reboot look. And my favourite part was turning her simple socks and boots into some tall petal thigh-high boots with fawn heels. Additionally, I didn't want to leave out her glasses, but I also didn't want them to look too out of place. But then I realised I could make them look like a pair of insect wings, almost akin to Monsterfest Cleo from G3, and it all just clicked into place from there. I also wasn't really vibing with her original wings, as they felt too similar to Stella's, but not really doing anything interesting. So I went more into that dark pixie aesthetic, making them sharper and more damaged with a bunch of holes and rips in them. Since I imagined the Wizards didn't create her wings, but rather gifted her a pair of wings that they had stolen, since, you know, they did steal fairies' wings. Also featuring some more creepy detailing, such as a fake pair of eyes, or at least the WINX Club better hope they're fake. The design was definitely a new one for me to try, but I think she turned out great, and I hope you like it too. Coming to our second rival of the day, we have the fabulous and iconic diva herself, Diaspro, and she's certainly a divided character. She's written to be a love rival to Bloom, being the one who was originally engaged to Sky via an arranged marriage, as well as a key obstacle in our favourite messy couple's chance at a relationship, while also being quite snobbish and blunt. She's both royalty and the Fairy of Gemstones, and she knows it, and will not tolerate squabbling with someone not worthy of her time. However, a few people, including me, feel like Diaspro got done dirty. She had no idea her man was cheating on her with another girl, let alone wanted to be involved in any of that, got jumped by Bloom on their first meeting, and where you think her arc might have wrapped up in season 2, and when she's saved from being kidnapped and Floret comforts her and encourages her to move on and become the best queen for her kingdom, Rainbow decided, no, actually it's better to keep bringing Diaspro back as the toxic ex who can't move on or grow, and must be petty and evil for the sake of her being a petty and evil woman. All this over Sky, mind you. But then again, Rainbow really can't stop pitting women against each other for some reason. Regardless though, Diaspro is still a rival and a temporary villain in season 3, and therefore fits within the theme of this video. I can't in good faith continue without addressing the elephant in the room. The reboot actually had it out for Diaspro. Like, apart from her design reeking of AI with her nonsensical outfit layering and her hair swept up like that one Addams Family character,
Who the fuck did your hair?
they also just turned her into the dumb blonde trope, so now she's airheaded, insufferable, and randomly mean for the sake of it, as if to actively excuse Sky being a trash boyfriend by staying with her, all the while flirting with other girls and basically leading Diaspro on. Also, I fear that her design being ugly is probably meant to lean into her being bad and more purposefully unappealing, which is great. Love how this series about empowering girls seems to love putting girls down or against each other if they don't fall within their preferred vision of what a good girl is. That's not weird at all. Anyway, time I probably get onto my redesign. For Diaspro, I love her classic look to bits. It's just so elegant and well put together, and there's no way of me topping this, so I'm just gonna have to try my best doing my own direction. So I chose to try and keep her sense of royalty and wealth by going with a more old money vibe to her fashion. You know, money talks but real wealth whispers. So she wears a neat blouse with big sleeves and a patented ascot, tucked into a pencil skirt, some simple tights adorned with swirling patterns, some chic heels, and draped in a big plaid blazer with lots of silver jewelry and gemstones. My favourite bit was her hair, which is just this big bundle of loose curls that slowly taper out towards the end, showing that you can do big flowy hair without it looking so unnatural. Also, her free hair clips were meant to reference her original little crown that she had on her headband, since I thought just giving her the crown straight up would look too flashy and stand out a bit too much for an old money look. But I was also worried that it was a little too subtle, so I just thought to point it out so you all knew. You know now. For her colour scheme, I tried my best to follow the original, because I loved when Diaspro still had a little light tan to her, and that really nice choice of blonde, something that later seasons in the reboot seem to have messed up somehow. As for her main colours, I tried reversing the importance of them, so while in the original she was a lot more white and red with burgundy accents, I chose instead to make her more red and burgundy with white accents. Mostly because looking up old money fashion, they love to use darker colours and palettes for their blazers and skirts. Plus, it makes her some good colour blocking, with the blazer dividing the colours between her hair and her outfit, while not feeling out of place thanks to her shoes being a matching colour. And here's the final result, and she looks as fashionable as ever. Although, just from her expression, she's clearly not in the mood to be dealing with any of your business right now. Why are you even talking to her? I think I did an alright job capturing the vibe of a spoiled rich kid, and I hope you like it too. But why don't we see what her fairy form's like now? For Diaspro's fairy form, I can't lie, I had a lot of trouble translating it to a more floral design, despite thinking it would be the easiest one to do. Her original look already felt lily petal inspired, but I wanted to try and pull in some more royal influence, so I tried referencing Morgana's fairy queen design a bit, but more of a flowy and regal princess look with the lace, and her hair more up in a high ponytail with jewels resembling a tiara. I think the vision was stronger in my head, but the execution is missing something for me. It makes me a bit divided because I do love the main body, the thigh-high leg warmers, and her hairstyle, but something about them just isn't connecting all together for me, if that makes sense. I also love the shimmery gemstone-like detailing on the wings though. I think that part turned out great. Maybe I'm just being too harsh on myself. I think she looks great, and I hope you guys like her too. Next up, we have our first full-fledged villain of the video, and of course, it's the one, the only, forever that girl, Icy. Where to even begin with Icy? Nearly conquered the magic dimension by 16, wanted criminal quite literally anywhere she goes, and barely had a wins in season 1. And we love her for that. She brought the drama to WINX Club, and with her, I don't think things would be the same. This girl was gunning for Bloom's life for the fun of it. Almost every interaction in season 1 is the, you guys are so mean, I won't let you get away with this because
You should kill yourself now!
I just don't know what else I can say about her. Like, if you get it, you get it, but if you don't, you don't, you know? Reboot comparison-wise, I actually don't have a lot to say here. I actually think her and all the Trix's models look nice. They feel like they actually capture the sort of original WINX style really well. Like, that's just Icy. Her outfit's alright. It's just the original with some snowflake mesh parts, which I think look nice, but I don't really get why it has holes around her armpits, and it just sits a little too low past her crop top, while not long enough to connect to the skirt. I don't know, I'm just assuming it was more of a censorship thing, sort of like Stella having to get an undershirt under her OG outfit too, since they're probably deemed too revealing now. Either way, she looks great, and it's crazy how they're out-mogging the rest of the cast, but here we are. As for my design take on Icy, I think there was no way I wasn't going to do a Y2K take on this queen. Something about her just screams early brats to me, and that's what I did. I know there's actually a name for this dress, but I used Megan's Express It doll as the main inspiration, buttoning the collar a little more open to reference the OG's strong, sharp collar design, while also having a lace undershirt, and a big diesel belt reference with the D replaced with an I, some thigh-high go-go boots with lacy socks, all topped off with a cropped baggy puffer jacket that's hanging off her shoulders because she might get cold, but she'll still be fashionable about it. I barely even did anything to her hair, just like the reboot, because come on, like that's not a high ponytail, that's a high ponytail. With the wispy curls, it's just all too iconic not to keep. This is peak carrot design right here. I really love Icy's outfit the most, and especially when coloring the whole thing, it just all comes together. But I can't lie, on first glance, it really does read like Ariana to me.
Ariana, what are you doing here?
For colors, we're keeping it nice and cool, just like her original palette. So there's icy blues with white highlights, but that more solid blue leaning into teal to help break up space on her main body and divide the hair on her head. It's kind of crazy that she's only really using 3 main colors, yet it doesn't feel limiting at all to her overall design. Although I did sneak a little bit of yellow into her makeup, just to pop the blue snowy eyeshadow she has, but not enough to be overbearing since I wanted to keep it quite sleek and modern. I also can't really figure out where to put this, but I really love her expression turned out. Like, this might be the meanest mug I've drawn to date, and I'm so proud of it. And here's Icy all finished up, and I'm obsessed with how she turned out. Like, she's so good. WINX Club better watch out because Icy is here to outserve all these girls. But you've heard me talking about how much I love Icy this whole time. Why don't we see what tricks she's got up her sleeve in her transformation? You know what I thought was strange? None of the tricks actually have proper transformation sequences like the WINX. They only ever get some dark clouds and PowerPoint fade-ins, which feels crazy. So how could I not give them a proper magical girl transformation? With Icy and the Trix's designs, I thought to counter the fairy's floral aspects and lean more into the heavy Y2K aspects and go full Astrofuturism with it. So we have lots of silver hoops, a flared tunic dress top thingy, I don't really know how to describe it actually. Some thigh-high boots with a flashy stripe down to her ice cube heels. And once again, a diesel reference as a chest window, which features a gemstone representing their initial, which for Icy's case is just a simple crystal. I also thought to make her cape more off the shoulder, kind of matching her casual look with the off the shoulder jacket. But also, just for the flair of the whole thing, a little like Emma Frost, it just reads diva. As for makeup, I tried using the blue of her cape and the dark teal in her outfit, just to break the eyeshadow and the bottom markings apart, you know? Either way, I really love how she turned out, and I hope you love her design too. Starting off our second half of characters, we've got none other than the illusionist herself, Darcy, and actually one of my favourite Trix members. Her purple colour scheme is just so satisfying from her casual lavender look to her dark plum purple witch look. Not to mention, I think having another character with a split fringe color like Flora or Aisha just looks really nice, especially with the way her hair borders on green, popping the yellow strands more. But really, I think what makes her my favorite is how her inclusion in the tricks really helps flesh out the others more. Her magic isn't a clear element like Icy or Stormy's is. I mean, I suppose it does count as dark magic, but so is like a lot of witch magic, so I wouldn't say that's her element, you know? But illusions was such a unique choice, and especially how it's used as more of a support to her sister's strengths. Like, yeah, Darcy was jumping these girls too, but a lot of her original attacks were just manipulating her targets for Icy and Stormy to land their hits. Something really cool because it makes for more fun dynamics than just everyone shooting their attack beams at the same time now. WINX would never evolve into that. And even though she's a part of the tricks, she's still surprisingly hesitant towards some situations and plans, actually adding on to her and her sister's dynamics, where clearly they all still butt heads and disagree from time to time, while also implying she still has some sliver of empathy deep inside. And yeah, she doesn't really listen to it. It's still character building that adds on some fun extra layers to her personality and story, even if it's in a small way. But despite that, she's still joined her sisters in telling you to—
You should kill yourself now!
What the Sorry to break character, but I just have a picture of the rake in my script, and I don't remember putting it there or its correlation to Darcy. I think I was gonna maybe make a point about, like, she summons, like, she shows the WINX the equivalent of Silent Hill or something, but I don't know why this is here. Her reboot look is fine. I like her bell bottoms and the fun studded warp effect they've got going down the sides, but her top just feels a bit messy. Like, it has a torn asymmetrical effect, but it's also got holes in the arms that just sort of stop halfway down the sleeves before it hits the forearm. I don't know, she just feels like she's missing something, whether it's a more interesting hairstyle or giving her some shades again. I also think her new color palette is just a little too dark, and doesn't really capture the purple well. Like, why does Icy get to stay bright and saturated, but Darcy gets washed out and gloomy? So, for my take on the character, I thought to heavily lean into a 2020 Y2K fashion, when it started making its resurgence online. You know the ones, the bell-bottom jeans, the butterfly corset tops, a headband or bandana, something to help her feel modern but retro at the same time. Using that as a basis, she's got her small square glasses bag, a frilled crop top underneath a spiral patented corset, some bell-bottom jeans with a flipped waistband, and a cutout section towards the ends that feature a lacy spiderweb design, as well as some simple witchy boots underneath. As for her hair, it's a sort of half up, half down effect, and I also made it wavy, not only to match her whole warped illusion magic, but also to make it stand out a little more from Icy's similar looking straight hair, so each of the tricks have their own hairstyle and texture going on. Colours were definitely the biggest change, as I tried combining the original lavender and lilac with some more darker purples as accents, as well as sparse yellow and greens for the shoes and accessories. Oh, she also has a darker skin tone now. Don't know why, but I've always headcanoned Darcy as South Asian, so I thought to give her a darker skin tone to complement that. And if you're going to be someone who complains about me changing characters' ethnicities in the comments, just know, you clicked on my video about my redesigns, where I go over my take on the characters. You walked into my channel, so don't start complaining unless you've got something to actually say or suggest. You're arguing to a wall. Also, none of this is canon. At the end of the day, this series that you so-called love is still predominantly white, especially in the reboot. So let's calm down now. I know it seems like I'm going too in on this, but people got really weird in the comments about me giving Stella a darker skin tone in the last video, so I just need to make it clear, this does not matter and you need to chill out a bit, okay? Anyway, I think Darcy's colours look great, and her warm skin really helps the purple feel more vibrant, while also framing her yellowish fringe more. And here's Darcy all finished. And she's got to be one of my favourite of the villains, probably because she matches the idea I had in my head the closest. Usually when translating a sketch to drawing, you end up either losing or gaining some aspects to the final product, but she turned out exactly how I wanted and even more, especially once the colours were applied. But I think we've seen enough of her casual look. Why don't we see her witch form, shall we? For Darcy's witch form, she was actually the one I designed first, and came up with the whole Astrofuturism approach to, with the diesel chest window working the best for her, considering her initial is a D after all. Her outfit is meant to be contrasting, yet complementary to Icy's, having a curved line on her top as opposed to a centered one like Icy, some open and looser gloves with hoop bracelets, flared open trousers that feature a warped heavy effect like her illusion power, leading down to some droopy baggy shoes, almost as if they're meant to be higher boots like her sisters, but she just prefers to have them look shorter. And her dark makeup? Ooh, it's so muggy out here. Another trick sister down, and I really love her final result, and I hope you do too. Now, for our final member of the Tricks, and the one who tends to be treated as the third, it's Stormy. She's a bit of an odd one in the group, as she's kind of the most independent of her sisters. While Icy is the leader and the one you'd think be most independent, she actually always looks towards and accounts for her sisters being there with her, and Darcy's the one who turns and relies on her sisters the most out of the three. So it's funny that when it comes to Stormy, she'll just go and do her own thing from time to time. She's the most aggressive of the three and actively picks fights, especially trying to single out WINX members like her infamous beef with Musa. But that's sort of it for her character. Kind of implying she's at least the strongest of the Tricks force-wise, but not the best strategist, which is often how she gets beat. However, beyond her temper and strength, what else does she have going on? Like, she's just the hothead of the group, but what else? She doesn't really have hobbies you could assign or even implied in episodes, or even a strong fashion sense. She's just quite simple and up in the air. But I don't think she's terrible or anything for it, just a little lacking when compared to her sisters that she ends up sharing screen time with a lot. Although one thing I do have to point out is that they cooked with her hair. It being dark, thick and curly like a storm cloud, with her fringe resembling lightning bolts, ooh, 10s across the board just for that. Also, I know I made this joke with Icy, but Stormy is literally made for the
You should kill yourself now.
way more. What? I did the joke with the other two. You didn't expect me to do the joke with the one that actually uses lightning? You know what they say, comedy comes in thirds. Now, her reboot look is sort of a hot mess. Like, it's not terrible and it does the job, but why is she purple now? Like, her original red color scheme helped pop her purple hair, while also making sure she stood out in the Tricks. But now she's just purple and purple, to the point she seems more purple than Darcy, the purple Tricks member, but makes Icy stand out in a bad way, like the girls organized a group theme and she didn't get the memo. Also, I know we're trying to incorporate their element into their outfits, something I wish the original actually did, since her outfit was quite plain, but the bolt of lightning just on the shirt with nothing else is so on the nose. Like, could we not have hidden it a little better? Like going down the sides of her arms, on the skirt, even on her one stocking? Like, you can have a character be unsubtle about their element and still serve. You literally did that with Icy. I don't know, maybe I'm just being too much of a hater. She's fine, and a new witch form eats anyway, so I can forgive her. As for my take on Stormy, I thought to try and push for a more warm and flowy summer look. So she has this layered, loose-fitting strappy blouse over some high-waisted short shorts, torn at the bottom to kind of resemble clouds, some ripped-up fishnets that lead down to some fashionable leg-warmer leather boots, and she's got lots of jewelry on, from piercings to hoops, and my favourite one, her hand chain, something I thought she'd wear to help better conduct electricity with her magic. And to top it all off, she's got a scrunchie to tie her curly hair back into a big flowy ponytail, just to better match her sisters since they all seem to have their hair pulled back this time, and I didn't want her to feel left out. For once, I think the colours were a bit of a struggle for me, as in her original colour scheme, she's mostly just wearing red and burgundy with no patterns or anything going on. But pairing just those two colours together felt too clashing. The burgundy would make the red look more pink, while also just being really dark. So I thought to balance it out by incorporating some light pinks in. That way they can help break up the colours in the body, dividing the top and shorts in what feels like the beginning and ending of a colour gradient. Although if it was a proper colour gradient, the darkest colour wouldn't come after the lightest colours, but who cares, I'm not redoing this. Besides, it was more meant to reference a red sky and the saying it has. You know, the one that goes, red sky at night, shepherd's delight, red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. Except with Stormy, it's probably always a warning. Her makeup is also quite simple. I thought, unlike the light and pastel makeup of Icy, or the bold and dramatic makeup of Darcy, Stormy would go for a mix in between, having an understated neutral lipstick, but some big and bold eyeshadow. Her skin is also a bit more saturated and deeper, since in the original series she did have a bit of a slight olive tan skin tone going on, although I think I remembered it being darker than it actually was, because she's actually quite pale. But then again, I guess when paired up with how pale everyone else is in the show, she does end up looking a bit more tanned. But I'm an artist, and I'm in control now, so more tanned it is. And here's Stormy all finished up, and I think she looks great. I was really dreading drawing her because I just couldn't really envision an outfit that would fit her without being too overbearing or busy. But I think the off-the-shoulders blouse looks great, and giving her those leg warmer boots really helps her design feel so much more solid than spaced out and empty. But it also makes her a great connection to her witch form. For the last Tricks member, we of course have some more Astrofuturism. Keeping up that whole theme of contrast and complement, Stormy features the iconic diesel chest window with her initial, a mirrored top to Darcy, keeping up that imagery of Icy being front and center, some flared hooped arm warmers, shorts to highlight her lightning tights, that then lead into some flared out leg warmers. Not too much that I can say that I haven't said about Icy or Darcy. She's just designed to complement her sisters, while also standing out in her own unique way if she was separated. And while I do think something is still missing with Stormy, I do think she fits in a lot more now, so that makes up for it. Last but not least, I couldn't leave out one of the most iconic villains in the show, Dark Bloom. One of Bloom's coolest arcs from season 2, and something I really wish they explored in later seasons, because the idea of Bloom learning that she has darkness and dark magic inside of her, and rather than rejecting it and purifying her, learn to control it and keep it in check is so cool. But one thing I was always sad about was that Dark Bloom was tied to a fairy form, so we never got a new alternative casual look for Bloom. Although, for all the reboot's faults, they seem to have done a good thing and given her one, even if it's a little simple. Like, it's just a sort of generic punk outfit, but I can't lie, it looks a lot nicer than Bloom's normal look, probably because the colours actually work together here instead of clashing so badly. Now, for my design, I try my best to avoid any reboot leaks, since I wanted to do things my own way, and enjoy having some freedom without having to reference any previous design for once. So, similar to Mitzi, I looked at my Bloom's redesign as a basis, and designed aspects around countering the original's themes to be more rebellious and alternative. So instead of her neatly brushed layered hair, it's way more rough and wild, flowing everywhere. Instead of a layered top with long sleeves, she's got a simple crop top with a chest window, kind of like the Trix's witch forms. She's wearing odd arm warmers with some thick spiked bracelets, jeans that separate into shorts with a mesh section, with the bottoms being scorched and burned from her flames, and some sleek sharp boots. And my favourite detail of the whole design is how she only wears silver, as opposed to her light form's gold jewelry. Although her light form didn't have an eyebrow and stomach piercing, so that's going to be crazy for her to discover when she comes back too. Her makeup too is a lot darker and bolder, with this cool dark fairy eyeliner she has on one side of her face, kind of like Fable Form from Ever After High. Colours-wise, I played around with the idea of going full opposites and using more burgundies and reds to counter her blues and yellows. However, I ended up sticking to quite a simple palette, with mostly blacks and brown, occasionally broken up by some dark blues, just so she has some colour to her, you know? And also connect to her minty teal colours, but if they were darker and muddier. I'm not sure what else I can really say. Dark Bloom as a character is kinda just playfully evil, and I like that, but that's not something I can talk on and on about. And I've sort of gone over everything I possibly can with her outfit and colours without just reiterating how rebellious she looks now. So I'll just let the speed paint finish and catch you at the end. And here's Dark Bloom all finished up, and she looks great. Unfortunately, after finishing her, I do realize she's giving a little bit of Kim Possible vibes, but that's not a bad thing. I love how her jeans turned out, and I think they make for a really cool statement piece, and I hope you like her too. But let's get to Dark Bloom's real form now, shall we? I'm so happy with how Dark Bloom's fairy form turned out. While I was trying to keep into account her original dark form, I mostly imagined how her redesigned fairy form would look if she were to suddenly turn dark and evil. Would she rip her stomach area open? Would she keep the arm warmer gloves? Would her shoes change? And the answer to all of that is yes! Trying to adapt a dark floral design was so much fun, and I loved adding in more purple to the design to give more contrast, which other than giving her more colour, also makes her read a little more traditionally witchy. And considering she works with the Tricks in her dark form, adds another layer to the whole look. I also love her sharp guillotine-like shoes with thorns, kind of giving harsh floral, but also something forcefully modified to make her more violent and sharp. My favourite detail was giving her layered skirt these 2 long curly petals, as they're meant to be references to Mitzi's fairy form from the Halloween episode in season 1. I also love her wings. They're just sharper versions of her original wings, but like Mitzi, I snuck in some eye motifs, as if Lord Darkar is constantly watching her, or watching through her. Basically, I think she looks great, and I hope you like her too. And with that, all the WINX villains and rivals are done. We sure talked through a lot of topics, but I hope you love watching along. My favourites have to be Darcy, Mitzi, and Icy for all their forms. They just came out exactly how I was hoping, but I'd love to hear who yours favourites were, or maybe what you wish had been done differently. But before that, I want to open the floor to you guys. See, when it comes to my next WINX video, I have 2 ideas of what I want to do. So would you prefer I make a WINX Club Boys Edition episode, redesigning the specialists since they all look so lovely in the reboot? Or would you rather I redesign the many 7th WINX Club members, including Myrta, Roxy, Daphne, and maybe Damien? Whichever one is the most popular in the comments will be getting made next. But be warned, part 4 is going to be me redesigning the girls in Chantix forms no matter what. So whichever video doesn't get chosen, unfortunately isn't going to get made for quite a long time. Quite the dilemma, huh? But I can choose either, so I thought I'd let it be your guys' decision. And I'll also be sure to make an announcement so you guys know which choice won when I come to making part 3. So knowing my track record, I'll be seeing you guys in like 10 months. Promise it won't be that long, I swear. I'm gonna try my best, okay? I'm gonna try and get a schedule going. And with everything wrapped up, I hope you had a good time watching and have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya!